The Young and the Restless spoilers shock. The true identity of Aristotle Dumas remains one of the most tantalizing mysteries gripping the fans of The Young and the Restless, a secret that has kept the audience on edge, hungry for answers. Behind this enigmatic figure lies a web of intrigue that promises to shake the very foundations of the powerful Newman dynasty. But who is Aristotle Dumas really? What dark secrets is he hiding, and what implications will his presence have for the Newman family legacy? Recent revelations point to a much deeper and more dangerous storyline, one involving not just Aristotle, but two men who emerge as sworn enemies to the Newmans, men who are bent on reclaiming what they believe rightfully belongs to them. This dramatic development centers on a father and son duo who bear deep-seated grudges and harbor a burning desire for revenge against the Newman Empire. Rumors have swirled for weeks, with various reports erroneously pointing to Christian Newman, Victor's youngest son, as a potential challenger. Yet it quickly becomes clear that Christian is far too young and naive to be the mastermind behind these power plays. The real force to reckon with is Reed Hellstrom, the son of J.T. Hellstrom and Victoria Newman. Unlike Christian, Reed's character is shrouded in bitterness and resentment, emotions cultivated through years of feeling marginalized and mistreated by the very family that should have embraced him. Reed's animosity toward the Newmans is deeply personal. His father, J.T. Hellstrom, has endured significant hardships at the hands of Victor and his inner circle. Though J.T. is still very much alive, his legacy of pain and betrayal lives on through Reed, who carries the torch of vengeance with a cold determination. It is this inherited grudge that fuels Reed's ambition to challenge the Newmans and stake his claim to what he views as his rightful inheritance. The stakes could not be higher as Reed prepares to enter the treacherous battleground of Newman Enterprises, wielding the weight of both family history and a profound sense of injustice. The situation is dire and complex beyond what any of the Newmans, or the audience, have anticipated. The emergence of this father-son vendetta adds layers of intrigue and danger, threatening to unravel the power dynamics that have long defined Genoa City's elite. The power struggles are no longer confined to corporate boardrooms or social events, they now verge on the personal and existential. The Hellstroms' looming presence signals an upheaval that could redefine alliances, betrayals, and loyalties within the Newman dynasty. This is no mere power grab. It is a battle for legacy, for identity, and for justice as perceived by those who have suffered in the shadows of the Newman Empire. Reed Hellstrom is not just another adversary, he represents the culmination of years of festering resentment and the embodiment of a threat that is both internal and external to the Newman family. Though JT himself is not directly involved in this power play, his influence over his son is unmistakable, a ghost from the past haunting the present. What makes this storyline even more gripping is the certainty with which these developments are unfolding. Sources close to the show confirm that the Hellstroms are poised to demand the reclamation of Newman Enterprises' inheritance rights. Their claim is more than just legal, it is emotional, deeply rooted in a sense of betrayal and denial. Reed is not merely an antagonist, he is a rightful heir in his own eyes, a grandson of Victor Newman whose place at the table has been denied for far too long. As the layers of this conflict begin to peel back, the audience is set for a whirlwind of drama, suspense, and unexpected alliances. The question is no longer who controls Newman Enterprises, but rather who will survive the war for its soul. The fallout from this reckoning promises to be devastating, reshaping the narrative of power, family, and legacy in The Young and the Restless like never before. The battle lines have been drawn, the players are in motion, and the world watches as history is poised to be rewritten. The revelation that Aristotle Dumas may not be a singular figure but rather the combined identity of J.T. Hellstrom and his son Reed Hellstrom is one of the most explosive and compelling twists to shake the very foundations of The Young and the Restless. For decades, the Newman family, led by the indomitable Victor Newman and his wife Nikki, has held an iron grip on Genoa City's corporate and social elite, building an empire steeped in wealth, power, and ruthless ambition. Yet beneath this glittering facade of success lies a tangled web of secrets, betrayals, and long-forgotten wounds that JT and Reed have nursed in silence, only to rise now with the singular goal of retribution and reclamation. J.T. Hellstrom was once a man broken by the relentless machinations of Victor and Nikki. Once an outsider to the Newman dynasty's inner circle, J.T. endured years of humiliation, marginalization, and personal loss as the Newmans crushed any threat to their dominion. Nikki, with her cold calculation, and Victor, with his unyielding dominance, orchestrated J.T.'s downfall, leaving scars that would not fade with time. Yet J.T. was not a man to surrender to despair. Beneath the layers of betrayal simmered a burning desire for justice, a determination to rewrite the narrative that cast him as a victim. This transformation culminated in J.T. adopting a new persona, Aristotle Dumas. Far from a mere alias, Aristotle embodies J.T.'s rebirth as a shrewd, powerful businessman who understands the subtle yet devastating power of the corporate battlefield. No longer a pawn in the Newman game, J.T. embraced the tools of modern warfare, legal expertise, financial acumen, and strategic alliances, to prepare for a reckoning that would bring his tormentors to their knees. The guns and brawls of the past gave way to lawsuits and boardroom battles, calculated moves in a deadly chess game for control and revenge. But Aristotle Dumas is not alone. Standing beside J.T. is Reed Hellstrom, J.T.'s son, who carries the legacy of his father's pain and ambition. Reed's resentment toward the Newmans runs deep, fueled by years of feeling overlooked and denied his rightful place within the powerful family he was born into. As Victor Newman's grandson, Reed believes the empire built by his grandfather rightfully belongs to him and his father. The years of silence and patience have given way to a fierce resolve to reclaim the Newman name and everything it signifies. The Hellstrom's arrival as Aristotle Dumas signals a seismic shift in Genoa City's power dynamics. The Newman family, long accustomed to unchallenged supremacy, now faces the unprecedented threat of internal upheaval. J.T. and Reed are not merely seeking vengeance, they intend to dismantle the very structure that allowed their suffering. With damning evidence in hand, J.T. plans to bring Victor and Nikki before the courts, exposing their darkest deeds and unscrupulous tactics. This is no simple lawsuit but a strategic assault designed to unravel the Newmans' empire from within. The courtroom will become the new battlefield where J.T.'s legal warfare unfolds. Years of collecting proof, building cases, and forging alliances culminate in a campaign to indict Victor and Nikki on charges that could not only destroy their business reputations but also land them behind bars. The consequences for the Newman family would be catastrophic: a loss of power, a fall from grace, and the possible dismantling of the empire they fought so fiercely to protect. This legal crusade is more than a pursuit of justice, it is a symbolic act of reclaiming identity and honor. For J.T. and Reed, Newman Enterprises is not merely a corporation but a legacy stolen from them by deception and cruelty. Their fight is about righting wrongs, restoring dignity, and securing a future where the Hellstrom name commands respect and authority. Their battle is deeply personal and fiercely emotional, intertwined with years of betrayal and the desire to rewrite history on their own terms. For Victor Newman, the revelation that his greatest threat comes from within his own bloodline is both a personal and professional crisis. His relationship with J.T., once complex and fraught with tension, is now poised to erupt into open war. Nikki, ever the strategist, must confront the consequences of past actions that have bred this vengeful enemy. The Newmans must grapple with the reality that their own legacy may be slipping through their fingers, endangered by the very family they once scorned. The stakes could not be higher as J.T. and Reed maneuver to seize control of Newman Enterprises. Their ambition is backed not only by legal strategy but by a determination forged in pain and betrayal. They intend to claim their rightful place at the helm, to lead the company with the vision and strength denied to them for so long. This takeover is poised to send shockwaves through Genoa City's social and corporate landscape, redefining alliances, loyalties, and power structures. The Newmans' reaction to this threat will shape the unfolding drama. Known for their resilience and ruthless tactics, Victor and Nikki are unlikely to surrender without a fight. The battle for Newman Enterprises will pit old alliances against new forces, igniting conflicts that will test the limits of family bonds and business ethics. Friendships may fracture, secrets will surface, and the line between justice and vengeance will blur. Meanwhile, Reed Hellstrom's personal journey adds layers of emotional complexity to this corporate warfare. As the grandson of Victor and son of JT, Reed struggles with conflicting loyalties and the burden of legacy. His relationship with his father is a cornerstone of his resolve, yet the desire for acceptance and recognition within the Newman family creates an inner turmoil that threatens to complicate his crusade. Reed's character embodies the intersection of youthful ambition and inherited pain, making him a compelling figure caught between worlds. This saga of identity, power, and revenge reaches far beyond boardrooms and courtrooms. It is a story about the costs of ambition, the scars of betrayal, and the enduring human desire for redemption. The Hellstroms' fight against the Newmans reflects the broader themes of family loyalty, justice, and the struggle for recognition that have defined the Young and the Restless for generations. As viewers watch this high-stakes drama unfold, they are drawn into a narrative rich with tension, suspense, and emotional depth. The Hellstroms' campaign to reclaim Newman Enterprises promises to be one of the most riveting story arcs in the series' history, blending corporate intrigue with heartfelt character struggles. The battle between Aristotle Dumas and the Newman family is not just a fight for a company, it is a war for the soul of a family, the redemption of its lost members, and the redefinition of power itself. In the coming episodes, every move will count. Alliances will be tested, secrets unearthed, and loyalties pushed to the breaking point. The courtroom drama will reveal shocking truths, while boardroom power plays will determine who ultimately controls the future of Newman Enterprises. JT and Reed's emergence as Aristotle Dumas heralds a new era of conflict that challenges the very core of the Newman legacy. For Victor and Nikki, the fight is about survival of their empire, their family name, and their own legacies. For JT and Reed, it is about justice, reclamation, and forging a future free from the shadows of past injustices. This clash of wills, histories, and ambitions sets the stage for a dramatic and unforgettable chapter in The Young and the Restless, one that promises to captivate audiences with its intricate storytelling and emotional resonance. Ultimately, the story of Aristotle Dumas, J.T. Hellstrom, and Reed Hellstrom is a testament to the enduring complexity of family dynamics and the relentless pursuit of power and redemption. As the battle for Newman Enterprises rages on, one question remains: who will emerge victorious when blood ties and business collide in a city built on secrets and ambition? Nick Newman pulled his SUV onto the dusty drive of the new Abbott family ranch, the late afternoon sun gilding the sprawling fields and rustic barn in warm auburn light. He stepped out, the weight of recent events heavy on his shoulders, his mother's health scare, Victoria's ongoing vigil at the hospital by Cole's bedside, the whirlwind of family turmoil that had defined the past weeks. As he crossed the threshold into the cozy living room where his mother sat by the fireplace, Nick paused to take in her calm, resolute expression. The ranch had become her sanctuary, a place where she'd found peace and quiet to recover and to decide whether a life on the road, this journey to France, proposed as a much-needed escape, was truly right for her. "Mom," he said softly, approaching her chair. "How are you feeling? Have you boxed up everything you need?" She smiled at him, her blue eyes bright with a mixture of optimism and lingering concern. "I'm doing better, Nick," she replied, smoothing the blanket across her lap. "I've packed the essentials. The rest we can purchase there if we have to. This place has been good for my soul, but I know you think I need to get away, to heal the rest of me." She paused, her gaze drifting to the darkening windows. "I admit, the idea scares me. Leaving this little pocket of home. But you're right. Maybe it's time." Nick nodded, though his heart tightened at the thought of her venturing so far away. He understood the importance of new scenery, of fresh air and different rhythms to shake loose the shadows that had crept into their lives since the accident and hospital dramas. "Victoria would love to come with us," he suggested, tucking a strand of hair behind his ear as he fought to keep his voice steady. "But she can't leave Cole." He needs her more than ever right now. He offered his mother a reassuring smile. I'll go see Sharon next. Maybe she'll join you. It could help both of you to have someone you trust by your side. Later that afternoon, Nick pulled into the tidy driveway of Sharon Collins's home. He inhaled, steeling himself for the conversation ahead. Inside, Sharon was seated at the kitchen table with Mariah, her teenage daughter, who was eagerly showing her a photo on her phone. The image captured Arya, Mariah's younger sister, pedaling confidently down a sunlit path at the park, a picture of youthful freedom and newfound control. Mariah's face shone with pride as she slid the phone across the table. "Mom, look at her," she said, voice soft with affection. "She's different now. Stronger." She and Tessa have been talking for hours, opening up, really listening to each other. "I haven't seen her this grounded in months." Sharon leaned forward, studying the photo. She saw more than just a bike ride. She saw the promise of normalcy, of family bonds healing amid the chaos. A small smile tugged at her lips as she picked up the phone. "She does look happy," Sharon said. That's wonderful, Mariah." She reached over to hug her daughter, warmth in her embrace. "I'm so proud of you, for helping her, for being there." Mariah returned the hug, then straightened, her expression turning serious. "Mom, what about France? Are you still thinking about going?" Sharon's smile faltered. She shook her head, brushing a loose curl behind her ear. I don't know, sweetie. It's a big step. And right now, you and I, this family, we need to stick together. With Arya doing so well, I don't want to abandon her progress." At that moment, Nick stepped into the doorway, his presence immediately commanding attention. He crossed to Sharon and Mariah, concern clouding his features. "Sharon, hi. I wanted to know, have you changed your mind about going to France?" His tone was gentle but insistent. Mariah looked between her mother and uncle, surprise registering on her face. "You're not going?" she asked, voice edged with disappointment. Sharon opened her mouth, then closed it, uncertainty flickering in her eyes. She glanced at Nick, then at Mariah, torn between the urge to protect her daughter's stability and the lure of a fresh start abroad. "I'm happy here," she admitted after a moment's hesitation. "But Nick's right. This event in France is the opportunity of a lifetime. It could do wonders for all of us." Mariah's expression hardened with determination. She shook her head, gently but firmly. "I won't let you put your life on hold because of what happened. You deserve this trip. We both do. We can't let fear steal our chances at happiness. You'll feel so much better once you're out there, seeing new places, meeting new people." Her brown eyes flashed with conviction. "Leaving isn't abandoning anyone. I promise, I'll be okay. Arya's doing better, she's growing stronger every day because of what you've started with her." The room fell silent, the air thick with unspoken worries and the weight of decisions that could alter their lives. Sharon looked at her daughter, then at Nick, and saw reflected in their faces the same blend of hope and concern. She knew that holding on too tightly to the past would only stunt her and Mariah's growth. She knew they deserved to spread their wings, just as Arya had. Slowly, Sharon stood, smoothing the front of her blouse. She inhaled deeply, her resolve settling. "All right," she said, voice barely above a whisper. "I'll do it. I'll go to France." Relief and excitement lit up Nick's and Mariah's faces. Sharon allowed herself a small laugh, the sound buoyed by possibility. "Let's start making plans." Over the next days, the three of them worked in concert. Nick coordinating flights and accommodations, Mariah helping her mother select outfits and pack essentials, and Sharon rediscovering a sense of adventure she had long forgotten. The house buzzed with an energy that had been absent for too long, charged by the anticipation of departure and the promise of renewal. As the day of their journey drew near, Sharon found herself alone on the porch one evening, the ranch fields stretching into twilight. She placed her hands on the wooden railing, breathing in the cool air. Memories of hospital rooms and painful uncertainties flickered through her mind, but they were tempered now by the warmth of her family's support and the bright horizon that awaited. She whispered a quiet promise to herself and to her loved ones. She would embrace this adventure fully, not just as an escape, but as a path toward healing and rediscovery. When the luggage was finally loaded and the car swept up the gravel driveway, Sharon, Nick, and Mariah embarked on a journey that would test their bonds, reward their courage, and redefine their understanding of home. In the rearview mirror, George's rolling hills gave way to open sky, and with every mile, they left behind the shadows of fear and doubt. Ahead lay the grand chateaux of France, the promise of fresh starts, and the exhilarating freedom of turning the page on a new chapter. Together,